In this video, we're going to have a look at two-step experiments. Two-step experiments involve two events that are happening at the same time. So in our example, we have a coin which is being flipped and a marble is being selected from the bag shown. So to work out how many outcomes we've got, we're going to create a sample space, and the best way to do this is in a table. So I've listed the outcomes from our coin, which is a head or a tail, highlighted in yellow, and the outcomes from selecting a marble from the bag is blue, red, or yellow. So when these two events happen at the same time, we can have a look at the outcomes. We could select a blue marble and flip a head, so a head or blue. We could have a red marble when we flipped a head, or a yellow marble when we flipped a head on the coin. Or if we flipped a tail, we could also select a blue marble while flipping a tail on the coin, selecting a red marble while we flip a tail, or a yellow marble. So what we notice here is we have 6 possible outcomes for this two-step experiment in theory. So we can use these 6 outcomes to determine the probability. So when we flip a normal coin and we choose from the bag of 3 marbles, what is the probability that a tail is flipped and a blue marble is chosen? So we're going to have a look for a tail and a blue marble, and we can see there is one option or one outcome that matches that description. So that's a probability of 1 out of 6, or 1/6. Notice that we've got the word "and" in here, which means both must happen, a tail and a blue marble. In our second question, what is the probability that a tail is flipped? So this time we're going to consider that all of the outcomes that involve a tail. So I'm going to circle these in red. So out of the 6 possible outcomes, 3 of them involve us flipping a tail on the coin. In our third question, what is the probability that a head is flipped or a yellow marble is chosen? So all means we want either of these. So we need to select all the ones that involve a head. So I'm going to circle all the ones that involve a head being flipped on the coin. And we also have to include the ones that also include all a yellow marble. So I'm going to circle the ones that I haven't circled already that also involve yellow. So we can see here that we have circled 4 out of the 6 possible outcomes, because all means either a head is flipped or a yellow marble. So we're looking along the row that's to do with a head on the coin and down the column that involves the colour yellow. And in our final question, we've got what's the probability that a red marble is not chosen. So now we've got the complement. So we have 2 choices here. We can have a look at all the times where red is not chosen, or find how many reds there are and take them away. Just noticed in our table that I've written an R instead of a B for red. So let's go back to this question. So I'm going to underline all the ones where red is not included, or in fact, I'm going to cross out the red column, which means that leaves 4 out of 6 options or outcomes. Another way we could have looked at this is to say 1 take all the options where red is chosen, remembering that 1 is the total probability. So where red is chosen, I'm just going to highlight that. Let's grab a red highlighter. We can see red is chosen in 2 places. So that's taking 2 out of 6, which will leave 4 out of 6, knowing that 1 whole is the same as 6 out of 6. So now I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at the following question. Grab a piece of paper and consider the following spinner being spun and a normal coin being flipped. You'll notice on the spinner that we've got 2 sections of blue, one of red and one of yellow. So to make it easier, you could call that blue section 1 and blue section 2. Come back and unpause the video and check your solutions. Okay, taking a look at this question, let's first create a sample space. So I've got a coin where I can get a head or a tail, and I've got 4 sections where I need to consider on the spinner. So I've got blue 1, blue section 2, red and yellow. So in writing these, I can flip a head or hit the first blue area, a head or the second blue, head or red, head or yellow. Then again, same colours but flipping a tail on the coin. So I can see that I've got 8 possible outcomes in total. So in answering the questions, determine the probability that a head is flipped. So I'm going to look along the row involving H for head, flipping a head on the coin, and I can see there are 4 out of the 8 possibilities that involve flipping a head. In our second example, we've got yellow is spun and a tail is flipped. So I'm looking for yellow and a tail. It must include both. That's what and means, both. So I've got 1 out of the 8 outcomes that involve a yellow colour and a tail. Determine the probability that yellow is spun or a tail is flipped. So this time when we look at our table, we're going to consider all the yellows, so looking down the yellow column, and all the tails. So if we have a look, we've got 4 that involve tails and an extra 1 that involves a yellow. So we're not going to say we've got 6 out of 8, we're going to say we've got 5 out of 8 options or outcomes. And in our last question, what's the probability that red is not spun? So again, we're going back to the not, which is the complement. So we could ignore again red in our table, and that means we have 6 out of 8 outcomes. Or we could do the total, 1 whole, or 8 out of 8 options, take away where red is spun, and that's taking 2 out of 8, which will again give us 6 out of 8.